Good evening, awesome saucers. Welcome again to another day in the backyard apiary. Today what we're basically doing is just checking on the swarms that have moved into my apiary in the past month, basically to check whether how the queen is doing, if they have a queen in there, if the queen is laying, and really just to see a general coverage of how much bees is in the colonies at the moment. So it won't be a lengthy process because these swarms are really small swarms with they're about 2 to 4 frames the most in them. All right, so let's go. We'll start off with the one that had the multiple queens in there, so I'll give you guys a glimpse of that. So we're just applying a small amount of smoke. I don't think they necessarily need a lot. All right, so from what I'm seeing, this is about a 4 frame of bees. Well, they're covering 4 frames from a top view. So let's just see what's happening inside. I think I gave them one foundation sheet with the hopes that they would have done something with it. They started building some of it, but just a small portion in the central section. So first frame out, a lot of stores on this frame, pollen, nectar and all of that. I think this was one of the frames I had given them. They seem relatively calm, but then again, this could just be because the population is small. And I am being gentle, but I have a couple hives in my apiary that even when I'm extremely gentle with them, they're just generally aggressive. So let's see what this is looking like. All right, so I don't know if you can see the queen. She's in the central section of this frame, and I think she's actually gonna lay, guys. Wow, this is the first time I'm catching a queen laying on a frame on camera. So I don't want to point her out. Just gonna leave her because what's her second. So we're getting a double laying, guys. Wow, never seen this before and able to catch it on camera. So she has pretty much laid twice. Let's see if she's gonna go for the third time. Whoa, third time is a charm, guys, right? So we literally don't need to bother this hive any further. I just want to check one more thing, what this frame beside it is, if it's space for her to lay or if it's filled with food. I don't recall what it was, so let's see. All right, so this is also a food frame. Interesting. I think I might have given them too much food frames. What is this? Yeah, so this is also another food frame that I had given them. So I actually gave them 2 food frames. What I'm going to do, the queen is on this frame laying. I'm going to actually move this foundation sheet out from this section, and I'm going to put it in the center of the hive, guys. The reason why I'm doing this, I'm trying to see if they'll actually build out this foundation sheet a little bit more. It's not a guaranteed thing. I could take away a food frame from them and give to another hive and give them an open frame. They're doing fine, have enough food. The queen, we actually caught her on camera laying 3 times, so that's a lovely thing to catch on camera. The only concern I have here is to take out some of the food frame, or one of the food frame, and give them a frame with built out comb worker cells. So that's the consideration for this. I'm just gonna check the other swarm and then make a decision. All right guys, so this swarm I had caught a week I think earlier. They landed on number 11 hive at the back, and I pretty much just put them in this swarm trap that I had available at the time. We're seeing quite a bit of hive beetles. We just killed about 3 of them in the top here. So this hive have a hive beetle issue. So let's tell you a little bit about hive beetles. I don't know if you can see the crushed beetle right here and here. I literally crushed them with my hands just now. They're some pests. They don't kill the bees. What they do is they mimic the behavior of the queen and actually fool the worker bees to feed them. Or if they're strong enough in terms of population in a hive, what will happen is they just literally go for the pollen and the honey that the bees have stored and eat it out and start laying their larvae and all of that in the hive. And that kind of cause now everything in the hive to start getting fermented and all of that. They flourish in shaded and moist areas, and the key thing to realize is this little area that this swarm is in, it's not a sunny area, so it's prone for them to infest this hive. So I definitely need to consider moving this hive from this spot. And I want to show you a behavior of the bees, guys. Look at the central section of the hive, sorry, of this comb. And I can tell you, more than likely a hive beetle is in some of the combs right here hiding away. That's why the bees are so frantic and trying to get them out. I can bet you any money. For this hive, they are trying to protect themselves against the hive beetle, but they're just not as super strong as the other hives to really defend themselves and push out the hive beetles and propellize them out of in the hive and kill them. So this is a frame that the queen has been laying on. You see where they built it out to some extent, so that's a lovely feature. I'm seeing larvae from left to right of all the comb that's built out. I would love to give this though a frame of brood to kind of boost them. I would love for it to be a little bit stronger than this. And the food stores is kind of low, but here's my worry, guys. One, population is small. Two, it's in a shaded area, and I've seen and I've killed 3 hive beetles just now. So when you have a situation like that, you don't want to put too much food in the hive that the hive beetle is going to now move towards. You know, it's like you're encouraging them to increase in numbers. So it's a very dangerous thing for me to put more food in this hive without reducing the size of the box and increasing the population. This is a foundation sheet that I tried to make, guys. If you realize, they started building it, but on the other side they're doing a very horrible job of building it. So they built the top section, but then now they start making their own comb out of the foundation sheet that I left them. Definitely gonna need to strengthen this hive. Don't quite know which hive I'll be taking a frame of brood from at this point. More than likely they'll get the frame of brood over the weekend, so they'll have to wait a little bit. They do have brood, a nice frame of brood going on for themselves, so the queen has been doing some work. Alright, so this hive, this swarm is small in population compared to the one we were looking at before. The one we were checked on first pretty much had enough bees to cover 4 frames in there and guard it sufficiently. This one we're gonna need to boost it with a little bit more food, but before we do that, we have to boost it with some more population. So what we'll do over the weekend when we're going through the bigger hives, we'll see if we can take a frame of fully drawn out and brooded out frame with hatching brood to put into this hive. So that's the crucial thing, giving them brood that's being hatched out so they'll get a boost in terms of nurse bees coming in, and that will be lovely for this hive, you know, to kickstart it and push it a little bit more. So that's what I would need to do first before I give them any food or food frame, because one I've seen where there's some hive beetle in the hive, it's in a cool shaded area in the apiary, so it's something I need to consider moving out to a more sunnier area or sunny area. Funny enough, the hives under this section, I've always seen a few hive beetles in these hives, probably like a 1 or a 2, and the hives that are in the sun and are getting predominant amount of sun throughout the day, I rarely see any hive beetles. So that's probably a nice thing to be mindful of whenever you're trying to minimize hive beetle. Put your hives in full sun. If it is that you want to give the hive a little bit more shade, I would say probably use a little shade cloth or something to drop over the hive to minimize the temperature for somewhat. But I would say put your hives where there's minuscule amount of moisture buildup. Alright guys, so the 2 swarms are doing lovely. One I need to give some space, and the other I need to pretty much give some bees, you know, to increase the population a bit and to potentially reduce the hive. But at this moment I don't really have any boxes to really put them in that smaller in size. That's really the swarm trap that I had available at the time, so they have to stay in that until I can free up one of these boxes when I convert them to 10 frame boxes, which is number 1, right? So they'll get number 1's box pretty much to work with. So they're doing fine. The queen is present, the queen is laying, and that's a lovely thing. It's just I need to just give them a helping hand, and that's it. Just a note though, remember from when I set up a queen bank to pretty much store the extra queens that I found in that swarm there, it was actually a failure, guys. I left the queens in there and I forgot and neglected to do one crucial thing, and it was to move up a frame of brood or brood plus food to put those queens beside. It seemed as if because I never had any frame of brood that maximized the amount of bees that would be around them, that either died due to either starvation, or it could be that they died because they weren't being kept warm, or it could actually have been the bees themselves managed to sting them through the cage. I don't know why it happened, but my first point of error was pretty much neglecting to move up a frame of food and brood up close to them. So I don't know, it just never worked out, so I ended up losing all 3 queens that I put in there, and it's just a sad situation because those queens could have gone to somebody who really needed them. So if any more swarms move in, I pretty much can't do anything because I literally don't have any equipment to put any swarms in anymore. As usual, thanks for tuning in. Your time was greatly appreciated. Give the video a like, share with your friends, and definitely hit that subscription and notification bell so you can see when new videos come out. Peace out and enjoy the rest of your week, guys.